I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. This time of year, we're surrounded by opportunities to give. Both our email inboxes and our snail mail boxes are jammed with solicitations for donations to charities and food banks and religious organizations, art organizations, and anything you can think of. We have the choice to give locally, to give nationally, or even globally. There are just numerous worthwhile organizations looking for support to carry out all types of really good and needed work. We certainly can't say yes to every request, so how do we decide who's genuinely in need of our limited resources? How do we know when our giving is helpful and when it might merely foster dependence or when it might even be a scam? Now, as I reflect on this, I think probably the purest form of charity is to give to that person we know who truly needs some help today. Yet, that's the rarest form of giving for most of us. I think in part, it's because of the social safety nets that we have in the U.S., which we assume are helping people. Also, in part, I think it's because of our own discomfort. At least I know that I can have discomfort. Most of us don't personally know a homeless person or find out when our acquaintances or friends are struggling financially. When I encounter panhandlers, I feel guilty when I walk by them. Yet, I walk by anyway. In part, this is because I don't know whether the person is genuinely homeless or in need. Because I don't know, I prefer not to give to them and rather give through reputable organizations that help the homeless. I remember reading an interview with a quote homeless end quote person who said he made the equivalent of $5,000-6,000 a month panhandling. And he said in the interview, I probably shouldn't be giving this interview because it's bad for business. That really colored me. The same dilemma occurs with requests for giving to charities. Which ones are genuine? Which ones use their donations wisely? Which ones are dubious or poorly managed? This time of year, especially with all the expectations around giving, it's easy to be surprised by guilt and then give before you really think about it and you really process it. That's the kind of giving that I often regret later. So I've learned not to do it. Giving, whether spontaneous or planned, is best done consciously. I don't give to individuals on the street. Instead, I give to 2 local charities which feed and care for homeless people. I can support those organizations wholeheartedly because I've researched them and I know they use their donations well and they accomplish a great deal. I believe giving to them provides more effective help than giving a few dollars to someone directly, especially when I don't know those few dollars, assuming I don't know the person, are going to be used for drugs or alcohol. If you want to be sure you're doing conscious giving, you might ask yourself the following questions. Ask yourself, will this gift help someone solve a problem? Or will it take responsibility for solving the problem away from them? Will this gift encourage the recipient's independence or actually foster dependence? Is this a should that I would do out of guilt or obligation? Those are really big, really familiar to me. You can ask yourself, would I make this gift if no one knew about it? Or if it were public knowledge? Am I giving this gift freely, willingly, with a cheerful heart? What might be the consequences if I don't make this gift? What might be the consequences if I do make this gift? Are there ways I could help this person other than through a monetary gift? That's a big one, because perhaps there are other creative solutions that we could find together that would solve the problem. Do I need to stop and think before I say yes or no to this gift? Being surprised or rushed or pressured into giving is very likely to lead to an unconscious decision and some resentment or regret later. No matter where a request comes from, you can always say, I need to think about this and I'll get back to you. To me, giving with joy and satisfaction means giving with awareness, whether it's helping out an individual or a family, or whether it's writing a check to an organization that I know to be well managed. I find more pleasure in giving when I have tried to make sure my gift will be well used. Thanks for listening.